Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, March 31st. Oh shoot, that's right. I gotta do that disclaimer. All right. Trading futures is very risky. Anything you invest, you will lose. You could lose even more than you invest because of margins. Anything I do is not trade recommendations. It is just to make a video journal for myself. All right. So let's take a look at today's news. That's a long list of stuff. 8:30, we had some numbers come out at 8:30. We have a Fed member speaking at 9, PMI at 9:45, more Fed, and then consumer sentiment and inflation at 10. Could lead to a choppy open ahead of that news. I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that today's going to be less than choppy. I think today's going to be a fairly active open, but irrelevant. I'll trade what I see, not what I think. Also, it is end of month. It is end of quarter. Those tend to be again fairly active. There's a lot of money that has to get moved around by some of the larger hedge funds closing out positions, and all right, hang on, closing out positions and things like that. So we'll see what that does. Let's adjust our levels from yesterday. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. I restarted the software yesterday. I restarted my computer, and it looks as if I'm missing some information. Oh, NinjaTrader. What in the world? Let me try something here. Sorry, this might take a minute. Before I closed it, I made it a point to save exactly what was on my screen, to save what they call workspaces in NinjaTrader, to save the workspace, and I resaved it 3 times, 3 different names, so as to make sure that I would not have any sort of problem like this. And I can't believe that even after that, that I have this. That is unbelievable. That's just crazy. I'm loading. So far you saw the one workspace that was up here when I first turned on the recording. Now you just saw a minute ago I loaded the second workspace, and now here I'm loading the third. And every one of them, that is unfucking believable. All right. So what we have to do now is we have to go back and see what's the last time this piece of shit recorded. I mean, look, there's no level up here. I have no idea what it's. This is crazy. Okay. I mean, the fact is, like, I'm looking to see where my high volume, my value area high, value area low, and VPOC lines are. You know how I draw those large dotted lines, and they don't even exist on here. It's not like they're further down and they're from a few days ago. They're just gone. Overnight high, overnight low, overnight VPOC, all those indicating bars are gone. And it's that's so frustrating. All right, anyway, that's not going to help you learn the trade. Sorry about that. Okay. I had no intention of doing what I have to do right now and scrolling back into history to find areas and levels. I had zero plans. Unbelievable. I had every intention of doing homework on both oil and the S&P today. That's I'm not doing any more of this right now. So let's make a. And now we're getting wrong data. We show a volume profile from yesterday that is larger than yesterday's range. Oh my god. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to try to get this data updated. Let's see if this one shows the same nonsense. No, okay, this one's showing it accurately. Okay, so there's yesterday's open. There's yesterday's close. Okay. Let's see if it gets accurate on my 60-minute chart. All right, looks like it's fixed itself now. Let's make our value area high, value area low. Yesterday's VPOC, overnight VPOC, overnight high. Okay. All right. I have a feeling we're gonna have to do the same shit for the ES, so that's gonna throw some stuff off. Let us take a look at what happened overnight. We closed here yesterday. Definitely inventory is net short. We've corrected that pretty well. Nice head and shoulders forming here before this move down. We are currently trading right at overnight VPOC. So let's take a look, 50.27. Let's take a look at what that's going to do for us here. And I'm sorry if I shit. I have more I have to do. There's nothing above us here. None of the stuff that we've done has remained, and that's a problem. I know that's a low because I see it in this micro composite. I know this one's a low here, so we'll put those both in. Now, I'm sure that as I scroll backwards, I don't think I'm gonna have time to do S&P. Really sucks. Really sucks. I'm sure that as I scroll backwards, I'm gonna find more micro composite VPOCs. Okay, I got that one. But I'm just wondering in here, so right there's a swing low. We're gonna have to check to see if this one's been breached. 51.90. Sorry for the silence, but right now it's just drawing on stuff that we've, I know and I plan for doing this on rollovers, but I'm not, and just sucks that I was really looking forward to getting the homework done for this morning. Okay, so that's fine. All right. So let's see where we're trading. 50.25. Let's see if we can't get back to some fucking normalcy here. All right. So we are, let's give ourselves a mark here, right at overnight VPOC, as we were saying. Okay. Let's see what we have. So, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. All right. So we are towards the upper end of this last microcomposite, which we drew. Let me bring some of this back here so we can see where we're at. Okay. We can see above us this high volume node in the composite. That's going to be one of our upper end targets for today, and the 2 microcomposite VPOCs above that. So hypo 1 is going to be an open chop around yesterday's VPOC, push through yesterday's high, make a run at the high from a few days ago, and if we can get above here and hold, it looks like we're heading up towards the 51 even number, and then these 4 microcomposite VPOCs above us. Once we get there, we'll have to just kind of wait and see what comes. We do have a bit of a lower volume area here, but not low volume where I'm expecting us to drive right through there, unfortunately, and I'm willing to bet that we do have a level in here somewhere, but I just have not. I unfortunately couldn't have the time to, excuse me, to go back and find it. All right, so that's hypo 1. And I need to want to take a screenshot of this. Okay, so hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to be an open, head up towards high end of yesterday, fail, maybe break a little, but fail ultimately to turn down into yesterday's value area low and test overnight low. And this potentially, I think, can become our a range here. Overnight low, yesterday's low, and kind of staying inside of yesterday's high and low, basically an inside day. I can see that we haven't had a real consolidation day for a little while, so I could see that being hypo 2. Hypo 3, oh, let me print that. Okay, hypo 3 would be an open, push down, test value area high, test overnight high, test VPOC, and then start pushing down below overnight low, below yesterday's low, and then making our way back down into this distribution here and targeting the VPOC of that distribution. That's going to be hypo 3. Okay. Let's see here. And it is 8:55. Gosh darn it. It's just amazing to me that what it selected to remove. Anyway. I'm almost tempted to restart this hunk of shit and see what it does. So right now I'm just drawing value area high, value area low, VPOC on the S&P on my other chart. Then I'll come in here and I'll draw my overnight high. Let's at least have this done, and if we have a chance, we'll do the homework during the 9 to 9:30 after oil opens. If it kind of stagnates or puts us in a position where we know we're not going to be able to take any trades, just because of the way things are setting up, maybe we'll have a chance to do it then. Yeah, for some reason, every microcomposite VPOC is gone. Value area high, gone. Value area low, gone. I have no idea how this hunk of shit chooses. I'll tell you what, if I had it to do all over again, there's almost no way I would be using NinjaTrader. I don't know the other softwares out there well enough, but I have run into so many things that it's not user error. This is literally I'm fairly tech savvy. Comfortable way above just the basics of using a software. This we're talking about literally hitting a save button and it just not saving. And that's a lot of work that I put in to get my levels to do what it is I'm doing right now. And again, it's okay if I'm planning for it. If I have an hour at night that I know the following, we have rollover coming up, and I need to make it. No big deal. But for it to just decide that it's going to lose data, that, oh my god. So I'm just prepping my chart here for the S&P. Let's see what we did here overnight. Inventory net short, trading 61.25. What time is it? Should be opening any second. Okay. Oh wait, that just reminded me. I gotta check something else now. Okay. So it saved everything I did as far as changing my order entry and stuff like that, but it just decided to delete lines. Hmm. Getting ready for the open here. Here we go. So we ended up trading away from overnight VPOC. So we came down a little bit since our homework, not much, just a few ticks. Watching value area low here from yesterday. Watching overnight VPOC. BBs don't show any type of real indications yet. It looks like if we tried to come up towards high, we would have negative divergence. We saw yesterday and many days, test of overnight VPOC on the S&P. It happened from the top side where we came down, test overnight VPOC, and it held and turned around and went back up. Could be seeing same type of thing happening here. Test of overnight VPOC, hold, and now push back down. BB's definitely turned down here. But let's watch to see if there's any type of aggressive buying that steps in. Okay. We have this swing low back here from earlier. Could be looking for something like this. Head and shoulders. So we'll watch to see if that develops. Fairly tight here at the open. And we can take a look here. We can see that we have a nice last move up from overnight. Let's stretch this out a little. Nice last move up here. Nice uptrend. In a larger downtrend, right? So this is all time frames and context. If we change this to a longer time frame chart at 1597, let's just say, this would look more of a downtrend or it would be bigger than 1597 because if you look, we have overall high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and here we still have a lower high than here. So overall, we are making moves in a downtrend, but in the very short term, we have an uptrend. So the question is this a pullback with a continuation for the uptrend, or is this was this the pullback, and now we're watching for a smaller pullback and then an attempt to continue the downtrend by breaking this previous low? Okay. Not much cooking here. Okay. Let's see if buyers are actually stepping in, or is it just lack of aggression from sellers? So let's see if we start hitting bids, what's happening down here. So remember, we're trading as that yellow number goes down, right? This 70, 68. As that goes down, as especially right now, so right there, it just came down by 50 on the bid, and the bid has absorbed. They added on to their size. So we are seeing absorption down here with a step back up. Buyers definitely holding there. Let's see if we can't do a little preparation for the S&P. I have oil up on the other screen, so if anything happens, I will certainly let you know. Okay, S&P is currently trading 61 3/4, right at value area low from yesterday. So we are going to be looking for hypo 1 is going to be an open. Sorry, I was just looking back over it all. Oh, there goes oil again. You know what? Let's bring that back in. Wait, minute, go back there. Okay. So remember, we were talking about maybe looking for the setup of a head and shoulders up here. BBs are turned down, but that could change if we were to make a push up to the top. But right now, I'm watching for up here, even better, not necessarily better, but up towards yesterday's close. But I am starting to watch here for a short, not overly aggressively though. Not overly aggressively. We did hold down there. We saw buying step in. Okay, coming at higher day, we do have negative divergence here. So we're going to start a short here. Negative divergence at high of day, at overnight VPOC. I did not pay attention to order flow on the way up here, admittedly. This was, basically off of our typical information that we use. Okay. So buyers just step up here. That was a big trade there on Russian. That looked like 40, 50 contracts went off on the offer. Buyer stepped up again with some size. So looking at the BBs, the 610 here, we do show negative divergence off of the high. 987 negative divergence, 1597 not really showing us anything. Okay. buyers definitely have shown that they are willing to step up and start taking some aggressive action. Sellers are absorbing up here. This is what we saw at the low of day, but on the opposite side, we saw the buyers step in where sellers were willing to come down. But sellers really weren't coming down as aggressively as buyers are coming up right now. So let's see if the chart pattern holds this idea of turning into a head and shoulders right now. Overnight VPOC acting potentially as resistance. That is our short here. Still see some buying here. So we've seen sellers hold their ground, but we have not yet seen sellers start pushing down, hitting the bids. We've seen them absorb as people are trying to buy at the offer. We have not. Let's see right there. We're at 353 on that yellow. It didn't go down much when we were touching the bid. Like right there, it went down one couple. I want to see that 343 get down to like there we go. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I want to see contracts start trading at the bid and buyers drop. Okay, so while this is doing that, let's try one more time for our S&P homework. We are trading 62. Right at yesterday's value area low. Okay. So let's take a look at what it is that we have here. So we have a nice distribution on yesterday's profile there. All right, so we're going to look for open, test overnight high, get through. Oh, sorry, we're opening here. So open. Oh, that kind of. Well, it's still going to be one of our hypos. Okay, so open, push up towards yesterday's VPOC, towards yesterday's overnight high and value area high. Ultimately test this microcomposite VPOC right above yesterday's high. Look for failure here, and a push back down into yesterday's low of day. This microcomposite VPOC here. If we breach this, if we can get through this, we're going to look for a test of overnight. Oh, okay. Test for overnight low, and if we can get below overnight low, we're going to start watching for this to come down a little further. But ultimately, I expect us to end up with this type of hypo. I don't expect us to move down and stay down. I think we're gonna tighten up a little bit. We did have a nice tight end of day yesterday, but we'll see. All right, that's hypo one. Oops, didn't take a screenshot of that. I'm gonna do that again. Okay, hypo two. Open, push down, test test yesterday's low. Overnight VPOC, overnight low. find some support, come back up, test this microcomposite here. That's number 2. Number 3. Oh, shoot. Hang on, sorry. Open. This is not as clean as the way I'd like to normally draw it, but just a little quick redraw. All right, and height 3 is going to be an open. Push to test yesterday's low, hold, come up, and now get outside of yesterday's range, and then that's when I think we got some room to move here. That's going to be hypo 3. All right. Are you kidding me? Okay, and that will do for the S&P. Now let's see what has happened in oil in the meantime. I saw we almost got to our profit target and have turned around. How far did we get? I think I saw us up maybe 7 ticks at some point. Oh, yeah, exactly, 7 ticks. No negative divergence on the BBs. I'm going to move my profit target away. No negative divergence on the BBs. As we come to the low, there's no divergence on the BBs. But what we do have to watch for here is buying. Certainly that is not what we're seeing right now. We're going to move our stop to break even. Cancel these trades here. And I am watching for a buying here. I would be willing to close this trade out if I needed to. If I felt like I needed to, because buying steps back in at the current low of day like we saw it do earlier. Right now, sellers looks like they are willing to do some pushing here. But basically, I'm looking for my first area of real buying, and at that point, I will be closing my trade. So right now, sellers are continuing to push down. That's the end of that one. Had we had more than one contract, we would have treated it a little bit differently. But I don't know ultimately what we did on that trade, but that was exactly what we wanted to do. Not a great fill. Would have liked a little better than that, but so be it. So we have yet to come and test value area low from yesterday or VPOC from yesterday. What I'm not going to do, I'm not looking to take a trade from the middle here. I've had that a couple of, maybe a week ago, I had mentioned many of my losing trades start from the middle, where I'm expecting a turnaround and a push back down, looking for a continuation of trend. Many of those start that way. So instead of me looking for a trade from the middle, if we can swing up a little further towards overnight VPOC, and the BB still look good, and we get some sellers to step in, then I would be willing to take on take on a short. Now, if I see selling step in, buying dry up, if I see that happen around here, then maybe I will take a short. But right now, just getting to the mid is not enough for me. What's been happening is that in a lot of the trading that I've done, what happens is we get to the mid, we see a slowdown, and I get myself short. But then that slowdown lasts, and it becomes consolidation. And then at that point, the BBs turn up, and we don't really have the confidence anymore that when the move, if the move happens where we start pushing down, we've now created positive divergence on the BBs. Let me show you what that would look like. So a lot of times sorry, wrong. Okay. A lot of times we'll get to somewhere like here and I'll get a short and then it will do this. And while this happens, the BBs do this. And now my confidence in this trade getting through the low is gone. So my profit targets change drastically. But as I'm saying that, I guess if I see that, I should just close my trade. Yeah. That's the better way to handle that. So anyway, so I am watching order flow right now. I am watching to see if buyers dry up, if sellers step in. Right now, there's not much trading happening here. Again, you could just see by that 570 how much is happening, right? So a couple went off on the offer, a couple more on the offer. So right now they are trading the offer more so than the bid, but it's a very small amount. One decent sized trade on the bid, and that changes completely. So there's a few contracts went bid, a few contracts go offer. So it is very much a stalemate there. Sellers just added on. I do actually like how that looked there as a opportunity to short using the mid and VWAP. Let me see what we got. We got about 6.5 minutes till equities open. Excuse me. Admittedly, I did expect a little bit more action this morning, but that's okay. Let's see if sellers step in to defend VWAP again. VWAP middle of day, 21 EMA. Let's just take a quick look over at the S&P before we open. Last several days, S&P has opened, pushed down. Yesterday, pushed down to test exactly overnight VPOC and then made a turn back up. We're going to be watching for that same type of opening today. So let's see here. So right now we're sitting it off, we're not trading anything. So we traded off for a little more, not much. There was a decent sized trade on the offer. We saw the offer shrink by quite a bit and the yellow number shrink by quite a bit. It wasn't one large trade, If it was one large trade, it would show up on our chart like that red box with the number 23 in it. That means that was one trade of over 20 contracts. S&P opening outside of yesterday's value as of right now. All right, value area low is right here, that blue dotted line. So what you'd be looking for is a test of the levels below you first. So you have overnight VPOC that looks interesting, and you have overnight low. So we would look for tests of those, and if those fail, then the idea would be that it would ultimately come to test yesterday's low. You open outside of value, that's kind of what you're expecting. Oil just got up through VWAP. We are getting back up to where we were short before, and I'm willing to look to get short again. Let's see if sellers step in earlier this time. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sellers have stepped in earlier this time, so we'll have to just watch to see if that if we get a setup here for a short. BB is definitely drifting downwards. We see how we got the wick wick of the candle above VWAP and then turn right back down below it. We see that many times before the beginning of a move down. Oh, actually, overnight VPOC has shifted in the S&P. Glad I noticed that. So really nothing going on. Nothing going on in oil right now. And this kind of goes back to exactly what I was describing before. How so many times in a move like this, I end up getting short here near VWAP, which right now looks okay. But while it does this, while it starts consolidating, it could drift up a little bit, drift back down, drift up, drift back down. Just stay in a channel. A lot of times that makes the BBs turn back up while that's happening. And when they turn back up, the momentum and the strength of the trade, the reasoning of the trade changes quite a bit. And so, like I said, I think the better way to handle that is if I feel as if it's a good trade to enter, I should do that. But I should also be leery of seeing that change in the BBs and be willing to get out of my trade, whenever I see that, whether I'm up 2 ticks, down 3 ticks, not necessarily at profit target or stop loss. But right now, looks like we are pushing down towards lows. We do not yet have positive divergence on the BBs. An interesting little spike there. All of a sudden, things just picked up right there. Remember, so not a surprise that we saw this wick above VWAP, little trap that was set there, wick above VWAP, and then we got our push down. I'm still, let's see here. I'm watching both now, S&P and oil. So right now, we've come back up to test middle of the day. we see that buyers stepped in on the way down, and we saw how quickly, it was a quick splash, actually right in the middle here. Unfortunately, I can't replay it for you. Right in the middle was a quick spike up, then quick spike down, and now we've fought our way back. So here again, we still have our negative divergence. We're coming back up to test this last swing up here. Let's watch the order flow. Let's watch the order flow here. We'll take our first short here. Okay, so off of this swing high up here, we saw this push. We're using this as a point of resistance. We have this consolidation back here. We still have negative divergence on the BBs, which looks like would remain intact even if we were to trade further up right now, which is why we have our scales out. And we'll kind of wait and see. The S&P has opened, and what have we done so far? Push down. So this is exactly what we were talking about. Push down the S&P. I'm looking for somewhere where buyers step in. Here's our value area low from yesterday. Here's overnight VPOC from yesterday. So I'd like this to come closer towards overnight low. We do have this high volume node right here as well. Big sell right there. Let's watch this order flow. So it looks like they're putting pressure on the buyers. Buyers are absorbing here. Now, if you look what's happened, we do see the BBs have turned up. Now, I believe that if we were to come towards low of day, that they would turn back down. I don't believe we would have positive divergence if we came down towards low of day, but I am going to pay attention to that and see and see what happens if we, if we continue to consolidate, with the price action that's to come. I'm still watching those BBs to see what happens. Definitely would like to see some selling strength come in here, keep us below VWAP, keep us below middle of day. Buyers keep stepping in here in the oil. Oil is not looking good for this short right now. We do still have negative divergence. No doubt about that. Okay. So we're not getting, we didn't get that spike up in the S&P just yet. Keep in mind, speaking of spike up, there's one in oil right there. Big buy up there. At this point, I do want to get my scale in. you get this close. It's kind of like a profit target. I'd rather get filled and then have it turn down than get me this close and not filled. There is definitely a fear here of a push up above current high and yesterday's close, driving us right to our stop. Sellers defending here, but buyers, yeah, right there. Buyers are continuing to step up. We got on the S&P, we tested down towards value area low of overnight, and that's about it. That's all we did. Now the question is, if we're below value area low here, we're below overnight VPOC. We could be watching this for a short, but right now, we'd have to really see that set up from here. From here, let me put the crosshairs on here. From here, we see where the BBs were versus where they are now. No negative divergence if we come up right now. So just maneuvering some of the profit targets over there on oil. Let's see if we can't start making a push down here. Buyers holding their ground right there. They just dropped. Let's see if sellers can't put some pressure here on oil. We're currently sitting right at the opening price. So I want us to turn back negative and get down. But buyers just defended that there. We are seeing buying strength right here. Sellers are fighting it off right now, but buyers are continuously stepping up. Let's see if sellers can't win this battle here. Get us back below the open of the day. So S&P has made its way up towards overnight high. And again, we do have negative divergence on the 1597, but not on the 2584 or the 4181. So we're not really just looking for a short based on price. I would need to see some order flow step in here to confirm that we take a short up here. But right now that is not the case. So we're just gonna kind of hang out and watch. Over here on oil, still seeing buyers hold here. They just added on. Not crazy about that. Sellers are doing the same thing though, so we have a stalemate right here. Let's see what's going on here on the S&P. Pushing up towards overnight high, coming up towards yesterday's value area low. So we need to see how this gets reacted to. Oil buyers continue to hold this up here, right from the open. This price here, the 50.24. Buyers are not letting it get below there right now. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like what I see. So here again, sellers held, but now we need to see buyers drop. Let us get below the open of the day. Let us start making our way down towards middle of day. Hopefully that doesn't slow us down too much, but we need to see some sellers step in here and buyers get out of the way. We're trading bid there. That's pretty good. We just traded, 10, 20 contracts pretty quickly there on the bid. And they have not really refreshed. They've added on a little bit right there. S&P wasn't able to get to overnight VPOC. Missed it by a tick. Sellers stepping down in oil, but now we want to see the combination. We want the sellers to come down and buyers to get out of the way, giving oil a chance to make a push down here. So we were just trading offer there. Sellers got out of the way, buyers stepped up. Sellers just added on right there. We're now testing the opening of the day from the bottom. It would be nice to see if the sellers start treating that as resistance, just like buyers treated it as support before. So I'm watching that 286 number, seeing if we can go down while we're trading at the bid. There we go. That was a nice one. Now we need those buyers to go. So we did see sellers willing to sell there, but buyers absorbed it. S&P has turned back down towards, towards middle of the day right now in VWAP. Not really much happening there. So again, now we are right around the open of the day for oil. BBs are slowly turning down. That's okay. Of course, we're short. We want to see that type of negative divergence. Potentially, if we make a move again towards the high, I really don't want to see that though. I really, at this point, I want that double top to be the last time we test that price for a while. Actually, I'd like to see this turn back down, get towards the bottom end of this range. And S&P, still no negative divergence there at the top. Of this last swing high that we made just under the overnight VPOC. No negative divergence in the BBs if we were to make our push up there. So I still think that S&P is going to make its way up. Oil is really just stuck here. Okay, so there's a push down. Getting through, getting below VWAP. We're at middle of day right now. Moving my stop to be just above the open of day. That's been the resistance that we've been using right now. Once we got below it, sellers have stepped in to hold us beneath there. I'm afraid that if we get above that, we will start traversing back up towards the current high of day. I don't like how VWAP held right here, so we are lightening our risk here by, I'm not sure why that didn't get filled. Okay, by 1. At this point, by taking the profit we just did with that 5 ticks, if we were to get stopped out, this trade ultimately would be break even plus 1. So we'll see what happens. S&P came back up, retested here. Now we see, let me turn it on so that the crosshairs are moving. Okay. We see that when we came back and retested, even right now with our price being lower, we see that we have the BBs are heading up from swing to swing. I still believe that this is a long here in the S&P. So here again, we've gotten to this open of day here. Buyers are stepping up into it. Buyers continue to step up right into that open. Sellers absorbed up there, but buyers are definitely putting pressure on here. Sellers absorbed again. Question is, can they start to push this down one more time? Right there, buyer stepped up one more time. This time with a little bit more force. Sellers just came in very nicely there. Buyers really couldn't care less. Very, very nice reaction by the sellers there. Now I want to see some of that push down. S&P has come up through overnight VPOC. That's kind of what we were expecting. Testing this value area low from yesterday. Sellers are doing a decent job here in oil, but they're not able to get rid of buyers. They're not able to hit bids and get buyers to drop their price. But the sellers have done a good job absorbing here. Buyers stepped up again. Sellers came right back against them. S&P pulling back towards 21 EMA. See if we can't get a move back down towards VWAP. Here come sellers again in oil, but can they get it through VWAP? Can we get below VWAP and start accepting down there? Let's push down. We tested middle of day, but we didn't get through it. So let's see if sellers can push down, get a retest of that mid of the day, and maybe even break through. Okay, VWAP holding here. We are making pushes. Sellers are absolutely making pushes, but VWAP is holding. There's a decent buying response right there. There's that test of VWAP again. Didn't see many contracts trade there. So again, let's watch that 380. Nice, nice, nice. That 30, 40 contracts came off, and then we went offer. We saw the offer come down. So now let's tick down again, and see if we can hit these bids right here. Let's see that 333. Okay, buyer step right back in. Holding their ground here. S&P making another push at the high. We still have no negative divergence. I believe that we're going to, looks like we're going to try to get through that high of day and continue to test that value area low. Meanwhile, on oil, a little bit of nothing happening here at VWAP. Buyers continue to step in to defend VWAP. There was some force there. Okay, there's that S&P coming up to test the high. Missed a long here off this 21 EMA. So testing value area low, last swing high from overnight. Let's crunch this up so we can get a better feel for what that looked like. Okay, last swing high from overnight here, value area low. I would love to see some negative divergence here to give us a reason to get short. Once we break value area low, and if we get any sort of acceptance, then the expectation is that we're going to come and test VPOC and then ultimately traverse across to the upper end of yesterday's value. But right now, that has not happened. We have not broken value area low. Oil continues to try to get through here, get through VWAP here. Oh, big reaction by the buyers. I don't know if you saw, I was just about to move one of my profit targets. Okay, no problem. So right there, ES did exactly what we were expecting. Just didn't take this long trade here. Crude move 1 second before we were about to move one of our profit targets. I wasn't going to close my trade completely. I was going to leave one on. That's okay. Negative divergence here in crude, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another attempt down. We see high of day holding here. Tell you the truth, I am going to take a short. And what I'm doing actually is I'm going to take. I'm gonna watch to see if I should scale, because we could lose our negative divergence from here to here if we pop up in the right way. And if that's the case, I don't want to scale in. So I'm going to take my one contract now. I will be willing to scale in depending on how it happens. S&P continuing to push up. Look what it did here at the open. Just like we talked about, it just didn't get. I really wasn't watching value area low from overnight as even a potential turning point. But look what it did again. We opened, we pushed down, we found the level, and boop, pushed up. This is now, I don't know, maybe the 5th day in a row, somewhere around there, 4 or 5 days at least. Buyers staying up here in oil. Sellers are trying to do their best to absorb, but buyers are continuing to put some pressure up at the top here. Buyers are not dropping from that 50.26. We've hit them a few times now, and every time they have held their ground right here. We just saw it again. I'm out of this trade. I'm not reversing it because I'm not a fan of buying breakouts, but if ever order flow looked like it should push up, it's right now. What time we got? Okay. So that is going to be the morning. One good trade, one scratch trade, and this one, up maybe 2 ticks. So not a bad day of trading. Wasn't much opportunity here for us. There was one. No, I can't say I missed anything here. Really didn't see this turning. No complaints here. Didn't take this first short off of VWAP. If you remember, I talked about how many trades from the middle kind of go against me. As we pushed down, as we created a further looking downtrend, I did then start a short as we got up to VWAP here. Ultimately, that trade scaled all the way in, and we were able to manage it properly, get out of our position here, make a few ticks on it, and then ultimately stop out, and all told, be a little bit above break even there. Last short here, I got out due to order flow. It really saw the 50.26 really was holding on the buy side. Really looked like it was going to not let us drop down here. We do still have negative divergence, so if we take order flow out of it, you absolutely could be short here. But 26 right now, that was a one hell of an obvious buying effort there that they weren't letting it go. Now that's not to say that it'll stay there, but that's what got us out of our trade, and that's going to be the morning. All right, as usual, if you guys want, feel free to get in touch with me. Other than that, I will talk to you later. Have a good weekend.